For years, online conspiracy communities have pushed the idea that powerful Hollywood figures sacrifice their loved ones for success, and Kanye West has often been at the center of those claims. After a recent round of explosive comments, some fans believe he has finally insinuated what he thinks truly happened to his mother, Donda West. Internet rumors have long accused Kanye of knowing more about his mother's tragic death than has ever been proven, though none of these claims are supported by evidence. Still, his recent statements stirred those theories all over again, with many interpreting his words as a hint that something deeper and more secretive was involved in his career rise. This situation ties back to 2022, when Kanye faced massive backlash for a series of anti-Semitic remarks. The fallout was swift. His Instagram and Twitter accounts were suspended, major collaborations with Balenciaga and Gap ended, and his billion-dollar deal with Adidas was canceled. Almost overnight, his estimated net worth dropped from around $2.5 billion to roughly $400 million. To most observers, these consequences were the direct result of his inflammatory public statements. But conspiracy theorists online painted a different picture. In their view, the controversy around his anti-Semitic remarks wasn't the real reason for his downfall. It was simply a cover-up for something far bigger. They claimed Kanye was being punished not just for what he said, but for allegedly getting too close to exposing hidden truths connected to his mother's death. While this narrative continues to spread on social media, it remains entirely speculative. No verified evidence supports these theories, yet the combination of Kanye's cryptic comments, his dramatic public decline, and the long-standing fascination with Hollywood conspiracies keeps the discussion alive among believers and critics alike. Kanye West has a long history of making shocking, controversial statements, but the backlash he received in recent years was on another level. Although many people criticized him in the past for comments seen as offensive to the Black community, those earlier remarks didn't spark the same firestorm. Kanye, however, insists that the outrage isn't about what he said. It's about the fact that he refuses to be controlled like other celebrities. He publicly claimed that while stars like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Shaquille O'Neal, and LeBron James supposedly play by the industry's rules, he does not. According to Kanye, other high-profile figures are pressured into trading their authenticity or integrity for wealth and stability, whereas he proudly speaks without restraint. This wasn't the first time he implied something deeper is at play. During a 2015 interview with Q magazine, Kanye was asked what he had to sacrifice for fame, and he responded with a painful reflection on his mother, saying that if he had never moved to Los Angeles, she might still be alive. His comments reignited discussions about the tragedy surrounding Donda West's death, a subject that conspiracy communities continue to latch onto, even without proof. Reports at the time stated that Donda passed away due to complications following multiple cosmetic procedures. Because of this, some people questioned the surgeon involved, Dr. Jan Adams, who had faced previous malpractice suits and was under review by the California Medical Board even before operating on her. Despite the scrutiny, his license had not yet been revoked, and the procedure went forward. In later interviews, Dr. Adams defended himself, saying the official autopsy spoke for itself. He also claimed that after surgery, Donda's postoperative care was left in the hands of Kanye's cousin, Stephen Scoggins, a registered nurse. According to Adams, Scoggins allegedly gave her excessive pain medication and left to attend a baby shower instead of remaining by her side. He argued that simple monitoring, like keeping her upright, could have prevented the tragedy. Scoggins strongly denied that version of events. He produced email records from the night before Donda's passing, asserting that he was fulfilling his duties and not neglecting her care. After an official investigation, authorities clear him of wrongdoing, suggesting that Adams' allegations were unfounded. Even so, Adams continued defending himself publicly, fueling more disagreement and confusion about what really went wrong. To this day, rumors and speculation still surround the case, but it's important to note that many of the theories circulating online rely heavily on assumptions rather than confirmed evidence. Dr. Jan Adams later fired back at Kanye, calling him dishonest and insisting that Kanye knew the real circumstances surrounding his mother's passing. In interviews, Adams argued that the surgery itself went smoothly and that there were no complications, no warning signs beforehand, and nothing during the operation that suggested Donda West was in danger. According to him, the problem did not occur in the operating room, and he maintained that he was not responsible for her death. Following these statements, Kanye claimed he began receiving threatening messages from powerful people in the industry. He even shared one of the alleged messages publicly, seemingly as protection in case anything happened to him. The message offered two options: a calm discussion based strictly on facts, or having Kanye readmitted to a psychiatric facility and heavily medicated. The message also referenced a previous incident in 2016 when Kanye was placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold at the home of celebrity trainer Harley Pasternak, fueling suspicion among conspiracy-minded fans who believed Kanye was being targeted for speaking out. These theories grew even louder when Kanye publicly stated that his mother had been sacrificed, suggesting her death was part of a larger pattern involving other celebrities who had lost close family members. He pointed to several high-profile examples, and conspiracy communities online began connecting the dots, convinced that Kanye was hinting at secret industry forces. Despite the controversy, Kanye pressed forward in typical fashion. He prepared to release his album Donda. Named in honor of his mother, Kanye staged massive listening events in sold-out stadiums, turning each show into an immersive theatrical experience. The most striking visual moment came when he appeared standing in a full-scale replica of his childhood home, completely engulfed in flames while clad in a fireproof suit. The image was shocking, surreal, and highly symbolic, instantly becoming one of the most talked-about moments in contemporary pop culture. Kim Kardashian later joined him on stage dressed in a wedding gown, adding yet another layer of theatrical drama that further amplified speculation online. Fans and observers alike began interpreting every detail, from the flames to the home replica, to Kim's bridal attire, as coded commentary on personal, familial, and industry conflicts. The symbolism was impossible to ignore. For supporters, Kanye's staging represented a powerful metaphor for loss, destruction, and rebirth. The burning house was seen as a representation of the emotional and personal turmoil he experienced after his mother's death, as well as the public scrutiny and pressure he faced in his career. To these fans, the visual narrative mirrored the feeling of watching one's foundation, family, home, sense of security, being destroyed, yet emerging alive and protected, symbolized by his fireproof suit. Kim's presence in a wedding gown, meanwhile, was interpreted as a juxtaposition of vulnerability and commitment, perhaps pointing to the intertwining of love, family, and the performative pressures of public life. Online forums exploded with interpretations, ranging from deeply personal readings to more conspiratorial takes. Some viewers argued that Kanye was reenacting a narrative of sacrifice, aligning with the long-running rumors surrounding Donda's death. While these claims remain entirely unverified, the intensity of the speculation highlighted how Kanye's artistic choices blur the lines between reality, metaphor, and performance. Even casual observers who didn't believe in the conspiracies couldn't deny the sheer emotional impact of the staging. It created a sense of witnessing something monumental and personal unfold live. The events also reinforced Kanye's reputation as a boundary-pushing performer. His ability to merge music, performance art, and personal narrative creates experiences that are simultaneously entertaining, unsettling, and thought-provoking. Supporters argued that through these performances, Kanye was reclaiming his narrative, using spectacle to express grief, anger, and love in a way that words alone could not capture. By literally placing himself at the center of a burning home, he forced audiences to confront the intensity of his emotions and the stakes of his personal story, drawing them into an intimate space of empathy and reflection. At the same time, critics questioned the extremes of the symbolism, calling it self-indulgent or unnecessarily dramatic. Yet even these critiques acknowledged that Kanye had successfully created a moment that could not be ignored. The performances blurred the line between art and confession, spectacle and therapy, leaving audiences divided over whether they were witnessing genuine personal truth, metaphorical storytelling, or simply a carefully crafted media event. Regardless of interpretation, one thing was undeniable. Kanye had transformed a stadium into a stage for mourning, memory, and myth-making, making the legacy of his mother an indelible part of his art and public identity. Some viewers commented that Kanye now speaks freely because he feels he has nothing left to lose, while others argued that the world would be terrified if they understood the spiritual and political systems Kanye is hinting at. In the end, opinions remained deeply divided. Many see Kanye's words as symbolic or attention-grabbing performance art. Others believe he is trying to expose something real. Whatever the interpretation, the story surrounding Kanye West's passing remains one of the most widely debated and controversial chapters in Kanye's public life. For supporters who believe Kanye is being truthful, his journey represents the age-old narrative of an artist fighting against powerful forces that want to silence him. These supporters argue that Kanye has reached a point where financial loss, public criticism, canceled brand deals, and media backlash no longer threaten him in the same way they once did. They see him as someone who is finally speaking without filters, raw, emotional, and unedited, even if the cost is enormous. To them, Kanye is an artist refusing to trade compliance for comfort, and his mother's death is the heart of that transformation. Believers often point to his shifting music after 2007, noting that his artistic tone became darker, more experimental, and more introspective following her passing. But on the other hand, many critics see these statements in an entirely different light. To them, Kanye's claims reflect a pattern of dramatic conspiratorial thinking rather than revelation. They argue that Kanye's emotional struggles, something he has openly discussed, and the trauma of losing his mother may color the way he processes that period of his life. These critics also highlight that the available public records regarding Kanye West's death point toward medical complications and do not support claims of shadowy organizations or coordinated plots. From this perspective, Kanye's words are interpreted not as whistleblowing but as artistic expression mixed with grief and unresolved emotional pain. Still, the narrative refuses to die because it taps into something much bigger than Kanye himself. The entertainment industry has always been surrounded by rumors of hidden deals, backroom politics, and invisible structures that allegedly determine who rises, who falls, and who stays silent. Kanye's outspoken personality and unpredictable public appearances make him a compelling figure in this story. When he gives dramatic statements, whether referencing sacrifices, control, or unnamed powerful figures, conspiracy-minded audiences latch onto them instantly. His words become puzzle pieces that people arrange into entire theories, even when the dots are far apart. Social media accelerates this dynamic. In past eras, interviews or songs might circulate slowly, giving audiences time to digest the material through traditional journalism. Today, clips fly across platforms in seconds, often stripped of context, edited with dramatic music, flashing captions, and speculation layered over speculation. A single emotional statement from Kanye can be transformed into a 20-minute theory video viewed by millions within hours. By the time fact-checking arrives, the emotional impression has already done its work. That is part of why Kanye's claims, true or false, spread so quickly and burns so hotly across the internet. There is also the undeniable reality that his career has unfolded in the public eye like a drama with multiple acts: genius, breakdown, comeback, destruction, reinvention, cancellation, and resurgence. People see meaning in his life because it feels almost mythological. He lost the person he loved most, then became one of the most successful artists in the world, only to experience a spectacular public and financial crash years later. Many audiences are drawn to stories that feel larger than life, and Kanye's life, whether one sees it as tragedy, triumph, madness, brilliance, or some combination, lends itself naturally to storytelling and speculation. Even Kanye himself leans into this mythic presentation. His visuals are theatrical, symbolic, and loaded with imagery that invites interpretation. He stages performances with burning houses, wedding veils, church choirs, stadium baptisms, and minimalist black or white costumes. His music is filled with apocalyptic tones, spiritual references, and personal confessions layered with cryptic details. He posts tweets that read like transmissions from someone at war with unseen forces. He disappears and reappears. He breaks deals, starts new ones, makes enemies, then reconciles. Whether intentional or instinctive, Kanye presents himself as not just an artist, but a character in a narrative that feels high stakes. This storytelling approach also shapes how people interpret his comments about Donda. When Kanye says something dramatic, audiences rarely receive it at face value. Some assume symbolism, others assume hidden code, and others assume confession. Very few interpret his words literally and simply. For example, when he says his mother was sacrificed, the meaning depends entirely on the listener. One person hears symbolism about the emotional cost of fame. Another hears a literal conspiracy involving powerful elites. A third hears commentary about the medical system, American beauty standards, or Kanye's own guilt. Kanye's storytelling style invites all of these interpretations because it is poetic rather than clinical. He doesn't draw straight lines. He draws emotional constellations, and then there is grief. Losing a parent can permanently alter someone's sense of the world, and in Kanye's case, that loss arrived in a moment when he was becoming one of the most famous people alive. The timing, weight, and public nature of the tragedy likely amplified the emotional shock. Fans have long speculated that Kanye's personal identity fractured into a before and after. Before Donda's death and after. The music changed. His public stability changed. His emotional tone changed. His worldview changed. Whether those changes stemmed from trauma, conspiracy, artistic growth, pressure, or mental health challenges remains debated, but almost everyone agrees that the loss of his mother reshaped him in a profound way. Meanwhile, the public continues arguing about whether Kanye's statements should be taken seriously or cautiously. Some believe he is revealing hidden truths with extraordinary courage. Others believe he is projecting grief and paranoia. Some think he is leveraging controversy as a marketing tool, turning pain into spectacle. And still others see his journey as a mixture: a grieving son, an experimental artist, a troubled mind, and a man fighting the expectations of an industry that rewards obedience and punishes unpredictability. And no matter which interpretation one accepts, one fact remains clear: Kanye West is one of the most intensely analyzed public figures of the modern era. His highs and lows, his spirals and recoveries, his outbursts and quiet phases, all become global headlines instantly. And because he refuses to conform to traditional public relations strategies, the public has no filter, no buffer. They receive his emotions, thoughts, and revelations raw and direct, for better or worse. That is why the questions surrounding Donda West's death remain so emotionally charged. They are not just about the incident itself, or the surgeon, or the interview clips. They are about what Kanye has become since losing her, and how the world interprets that evolution. Whether people believe his statements are warnings, metaphors, or misinterpretations, one thing is undeniable: this chapter continues to fascinate, divide, and provoke conversation nearly 2 decades later.